With the release of Valorant Episode 5 Act 2, I asked myself the question, is Valorant now worth playing? The reason I ask is because despite playing this game when it first came out in 2020, I never really got into it. Now, more than 2 years later, Valorant is still active and thriving, not only in the casual sense, but also in the competitive and content creator scenes. So today I wanted to go over why myself and probably other people haven't got back into Valorant, and why now might be a good time to do so. As I go through this, let me know what you think in the comment section below, either as an active or former player. Super interested to hear your thoughts. Now, Valorant is a skill-based shooter, and arguably one of the most competitive shooters outside of Counter-Strike Global Offensive and the such. It's also probably one of the best shooters out right now. Tight gameplay, great looking but easy to run graphics, so on and so on. Now, this skill-based focus is a positive aspect, don't get me wrong, but games like this make it difficult if you're an on and off player like me. I'm sure many of us can relate to having a full-time job, going to school or college and so on, and so playing every night just isn't possible. This, for me at least, has made getting back into Valorant daunting because you gotta be on your A game compared to more casual shooters like Call of Duty, where if you hop in and do bad, it doesn't matter as much. Now, this in itself isn't a reason to not get back into Valorant, as it can apply to literally any competitive game, but for the longest time I've had another reason, or excuse I guess, for not getting back into this game. What I'm talking about is the vast amount of content that Valorant has. This is not referring to the maps, but there is obviously a lot of them, as on the surface level those can be picked up relatively quickly, but more so the huge array of agents. Valorant simply has a lot of agents that you need to know, how they interact with other agents, how they interact with the map, so on and so on. This can be daunting at first since there is just so many variables thrown at you. Now, to be fair, this is like a pillar in Riot Games design. Give the player so much to learn and so much to choose from, and they'll go and pick it up bit by bit, but that also in turn makes them stay and play more and more. In League of Legends case, it's even more daunting because champion versus champion matchups are so important in that game. However, I think that with Valorant being a shooter, you can inherently fall back on the shooter mechanics if you don't fully know the agents and their interactions. Furthermore, the core ethos of Valorant is a shooter-focused one, with the abilities being the important but supporting cast. This is helpful for new and returning fans. This means you can learn the agents and abilities one by one and pick up the game bit by bit without being destroyed each and every match, and this significantly softens the learning curve. So when you look at it, it's really a non-issue, and more so a key reason why Valorant is popular and will continue to be popular for many years to come. There's always something to learn, be it mastering a new agent, learning new maps, running new team comps, and so on, and this gives Valorant an edge over the competition in the longevity department. The structure is built in a way that supports more and more content, and that feeds perfectly into the community's demand for continuous content updates. We've also seen Riot's dedication and consistency to Valorant, a level of effort not seen in CSGO by Valve, so we know that Valorant will continue to get new maps, agents, skins, and so on for many years to come. Furthermore, this is all supported by a player base that is exploding right now and near an all-time high according to Google Trend graphs, showing that despite Valorant's issues, it seems like a game that is worth getting back into.